Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I thought I would show you some of my summer favourites. I have loads of things by me. I've got books, I've got makeup and skincare, clothes, jewellery, home bits, tech even, all sorts of stuff to share with you. I haven't done a favourites video in almost a year, so this is going to be a roundup of mostly my summer favourites, but just things I've been loving throughout 2026 so far. So I thought it'd just be fun to chat with you about what I've been using, what products I've been loving, what kind of clothing I've been gravitating towards mostly this season. So strap in. I hope you enjoy. Leave a comment down below of something you've been loving this season, something I might need to try, and we'll jump straight on into it. I'm going to start with jewellery because I've got a couple of bits to show you from Linjer. I have some in my ears. Now these are, I say this a lot, but these are my favourite earrings that I own now. These are a pair of earrings I've been looking at on the Linjer website for quite a while. They are the Allegra hoops. They are a simple gold hoop with a diamond, floaty little diamond on them. I absolutely love these. They're just, if I was going to design an earring for every day, this would be it. So I'm very, very happy with these. They are lab grown diamonds, 14 karat solid gold as always. All of my Linjer stuff is solid gold. Comes beautifully packaged. I did put some of the stuff, I have been wearing all of this stuff, but I did put some of it back in the packaging, just if you've never seen any of my Linjer unboxings, just so you can appreciate some of the packaging. It is all beautifully wrapped. So I got these earrings, which, as I said, they've got a few variations of these. If you are looking for like an everyday hoop, this is my favourite, but they have, I'll show you some others on screen as well, because I've got a similar pair with, I think it's marquise or pear diamonds that dangle from them, and they actually have diamonds in the hoop as well. These are just plain solid gold hoops. So yeah, they've got quite a few iterations of these earrings, but these are my particular faves, and I basically haven't taken these off since I got them. I got these a couple of months ago now, so these are definitely a summer jewellery favourite. The other very exciting thing is back in January for my birthday. My birthday is at the end of January, and I went and got my ears pierced, my second low piercing. I've never had another piercing. I've had my regular ear piercing since I was about 8 years old. Never had another piercing before. I was kind of nervous to get one done, but I thought, you know what, it's my birthday, I'm gonna go. I took a friend, I'm gonna go and be brave and get my ears pierced. And so I've been wearing just the ones that they used to pierce my ears now for almost 6 months. I found that they just weren't quite healing. They were taking longer to heal than I hoped they would. But a couple of weeks ago, I felt them, and there was no irritation, there was no like redness or anything. And I thought, you know what, I think these are finally healed. I think I can finally take out the really boring ones they used to pierce them. They were just like cubic zirconia, fairly cheap and expensive studs. They were fine, but I obviously, you know, I love jewellery. I've been wanting to change them out since January when I got them pierced, and so I'm finally gonna do that. I got these ones from Linjer. I'll put the name on screen. I think, let me see if I can remember the name. I think they're the Yana earrings. Come in the gorgeous blue, navy blue packaging. I wanted something fairly small and simple, definitely something smaller than the earring I wear in my first piercing, and when I saw these on the Linjer website, I thought those are going to be absolutely perfect for just every day, and then I can change them out for something a little bit more statement for events and stuff. But I wanted something I could sleep in and just feel really comfortable in, but add a little bit of interest to my ear stack. I thought these were perfect. So they're lab diamonds as well. They've got a really small little diamond stud and then a dangly little, is this a marquise or a pear? I always get confused between marquise and pear. I will put the details of this this particular earring pair on screen, but they are, and link them down below, but they are so beautiful, and I'm finally getting to change out. I took the cubic zirconia ones out, and I have had some just diamond studs in there for the last couple of weeks. Obviously I didn't want to leave them without a piercing in there, but now I have got these. Let me see if I can do it without a mirror. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna put these in and show you what they look like, and hopefully they're exactly what I've been looking for. Just been to look in the mirror to check what they look like, and they're perfect. It's exactly what I envisaged, just like a little interesting, something a little bit more interesting than a small stud, but still very small and discreet for every day. Very pleased with those. Obviously I will link those down below as well. And then the final piece I have to show you from Linjer, which I've been really enjoying, is a necklace. Another yellow gold diamond necklace, and this one is a pear shape, I believe. I've been wearing this quite a lot. It's just a really classic. It actually goes with the earrings, the second earrings, really well. But it's a little bit of a bigger diamond, so I find it's a really nice size. I again, for every day, for layering. I don't really tend to layer my necklaces much anymore unless I'm on holiday. I love to layer necklaces on holiday, especially when I'm by the beach, but generally for day to day I just like to go with one necklace. And I feel like this is a really good option for that if you just want one. Or maybe layering it with like a herringbone chain or a snake chain above would look nice. There you go, that's what that looks like. The chain is really, really fine, so it has that kind of floating effect, which I really like, but I just think that is so pretty. Such a nice necklace, again, very timeless, and I will have that forever. So those are my Linjer picks, my recent favourites from Linjer. The first earrings, I have to say, probably one of my favourite pieces I've ever had from them. I love my tennis bracelet from them. That's another piece that is just always on my wrist, but these earrings are probably second to the tennis bracelet in terms of my top Linjer picks. So I will leave like a web page with all of my Linjer favourites down below in case you're interested in seeing what I own from the brand, what I recommend, what I wear regularly, and there'll be a discount code there as well if you would like to treat yourself a little bit. Okay, moving on from jewellery, I'm going to show you a couple of clothing favourites, what I've been gravitating towards this summer so far, spring summer I guess. Firstly, I have to say I've been really having a bit of a Dôen summer. I'm usually a Christy Dôen girl and I usually gravitate towards their dresses. However, for some reason this summer I've been much preferring Dôen. I haven't loved any of the releases from Christy Dôen recently. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, but I feel like last summer I made so many purchases from Christy Dôen. I absolutely loved a lot of their dresses, and then this year I haven't been as enamoured by the designs, the patterns, and I also think I know a little bit better about what styles suit me and what to avoid, so I kind of tend to avoid some of the styles that they've brought out this year. There are a couple on my wish list, I have to admit. There's one, I'll put some pictures on screen, there's a couple that I'm tempted to order. This one in particular I'm very tempted by, and the Bryn. I've never tried the Bryn actually, but I really like the new print, the blue and pink or blue and red print. It's really pretty, but I haven't made a purchase yet. I have been living in my Dôen. So firstly, the Dôen Ischia. I have to shout out the Dôen Ischia. I have 3? I think I had 4 and then I sold one because I just didn't love the size. I had it in a small and I just prefer the medium on me. But I have this one, which I've been wearing loads. This one I got on Net-a-Porter. Net-a-Porter have a really good Dôen, at least if you're in the UK, they have a really good Dôen sale at the moment. Quite a lot of the Dôen pieces, I think this was in the sale, although it might be sold out now. Quite a lot of the Dôen pieces from previous collections are currently on sale on Net-a-Porter, so if you don't buy much Dôen because of the price point and also because, you know, you have to buy it from the US and then if you need to return it's kind of expensive, I love to buy on Net-a-Porter because the returns are free, you can get it in a couple of days, and the price point, especially in the sale, can be really good. This poppy print Ischia is another one of my favourites. I think this was also in the sale. I actually bought this full price from Net-a-Porter last year, and I've continued to love it. And I get mine in a medium, and they're really nice. I love that they have a sleeve, but they're still very lightweight, so they're perfect for the really warm weather. And then another Dôen favourite is actually one I found on Vinted. Another of my favourite places to buy Dôen. I actually very rarely buy Dôen from Dôen directly. Again, just because of the return process is a bit of a faff and it's expensive. I think it's like 30 or 40 pounds if you want to return, which is kind of crazy. So I tend to go Vinted or Net-a-Porter or any of the other like UK department stores. Harrods I think now sell Dôen. And there's a couple of others as well, but Vinted is my preferred option obviously because it can be a lot cheaper. So I got this dress recently on Vinted. It's a slightly different style. It reminds me a little bit of the Quinley, but it isn't. I think it's called the Quintessa, something like that. I'll leave it linked down below. I think it's still on sale on the Dôen website. It's got like a little cap puff sleeve rather than the longer sleeve of the Ischia, a shirred bodice similar to a lot of the Dôen dresses, and then it's like a midi maxi length in a really, really pretty like pink and green floral. Very, very nice. I got this on Vinted. This was new with tags. I think it had the Harrods tag on it, so it was originally bought in Harrods, and I think I got it for about 180 when it's about 380 full price. So I was pretty happy with that, and I've been really enjoying that one as well. I was looking at my Vinted balance and I've only actually bought 3 things on Vinted this year, which is crazy. Usually I'm such an avid Vinted user and I'm buying things all the time, but I've only made 3 Vinted purchases. This dress, I bought another Vinted dress, the Emeretta. I bought this navy blue Emeretta, which has been another favourite this season. And then I bought a pink cashmere jumper from Laline, from Vinted, and those are the only 3 purchases I've made. I've been much slower with my Vinted purchases this year, I think, and it's done me good actually, because I haven't made any regretful purchases. Quite often I do find I impulse buy on Vinted and then have to resell the items when they don't work out, but obviously I haven't done that this year, which I'm pretty pleased with. I was going to move on to beauty, but actually I've got a couple of other fashion favourites. Sunglass wise, you might have seen in one of my latest videos I tried on a couple of pair of sunglasses. I've been on the hunt for a perfect pair of sunglasses all year, it seems, since I think I lost mine in the house move, and they were kind of cheap ones anyway, and I wanted to get a slightly nicer pair. These have been my favourites. These are from a brand called Rain. I think they're a US based brand, and these have just been my go-to. They're a brown tortoise shell. I like a brown over a black, and I like a tortoise shell in particular, and I found that this kind of slight cat eye, round kind of slight cat eye shape is my preferred option, so I've been really enjoying these. And they have quite a lot of really nice styles on this website. They're mid-range. I think they're about $150, that kind of thing, although I feel like I have scratched them. Yeah, I think I have, which is really annoying. But I have been wearing them a lot. And then a belt. I don't normally talk about belts because I don't wear that many belts, and actually once I bought this, I have decluttered. I think this might be the only belt I now own. I think I've got a Madewell belt, a suede one. But other than that, I've got rid of all my other leather belts, because this is like my belt. If I'm going to wear a belt, which is not that often, it's going to be this one. And it's actually from Favette. So I don't know if you realise, but Favette do leather accessories, even like some homeware and like pouches. They don't just do bags. And I've always been intrigued by their belts. But as I said, I'm not a big belt person, so I haven't ever purchased, but I decided to try this one to go with some of my Favette bags, and I think it's beautiful. I love it. I love the emblem. Obviously it matches with the kind of logo clasp thing on the Favette bags, the beautiful, I think these are pansy flowers maybe. It's similar to the Adele bag, so this belt kind of goes with the Adele bag. In this brown croc, is this a croc or a lizard? Not sure, either croc or lizard leather. They've got these belts in a few different varieties, a few different colours. I think they've got a black one as well, maybe one other colour. And yeah, I love these belts because I had a belt like this from And Other Stories once, and Rouge do belts like this as well, where they fasten at the front, so you don't get that awkward kind of tail hanging off the belt like you usually do with another, a typical kind of belt where you have to kind of tuck it in or tuck it under, and it's kind of flailing around awkwardly, especially if the belt's quite big. This one is very seamless. It just looks like that when you're wearing it, which I love. It's honestly one of the reasons I never wear belts, is because I just hate that like random bit of leather that flaps about, whereas this just looks really smooth, really good, and I love the detail. It's so much nicer in my opinion than a logo. I think there's nothing more like brash and unsophisticated than a big logo, like a Gucci logo or something like that on a belt, whereas something like this is just, I think, a lot more chic in my opinion, and so pretty, and it goes very well. If you have like a feminine Parisian style, I don't think that really matches very well with lots of logos and things like that and big buckles. So I like that this is a little bit more subtle, pretty, delicate, but still works, to accessorise and obviously help hold your trousers up as well if you need it for that. So yeah, and then the other favourite is bags. Have to mention my Maya basket from Sézane. This has been my go-to bag. I've worn this bag almost every day for the last 4 months since I bought it. I love it. I could not love it more. It's my go-to bag for everything. I put my food shopping in here. I carry it just for like casual days. I've gone swimming with this bag. Probably shouldn't put my wet towel in here, but I have. It's just been my absolute go-to. Still holding up really nicely. Love the Sézane raffia. It is expensive for raffia, but to me, I feel like it is worth it. It's a really nice smooth raffia, and it doesn't catch on things all the time, which I find often with cheaper raffias. They can end up being really frayed and catching a lot on things, and I don't find that this happens with this bag. So yes, I'm really, really pleased with this purchase. I had the Justine last year, literally didn't wear it once, or maybe I did wear it once and then I sold it. So I was a little bit hesitant to make another Sézane raffia bag purchase, because I was like, is it going to be another regret purchase? But it's probably my favourite purchase of the year, to be honest. Definitely my most worn purchase in terms of jewellery, clothing, accessories, bags. Definitely my most worn item of 2026 so far. And a more recent raffia bag purchase, because I've been loving that one so much, I did purchase a slightly smaller option in this like classic natural raffia shade, because sometimes I find the dark brown of the Sézane doesn't always go with my outfit and I like to have a natural option. So I got this one from Gerard Darel. Yeah, it's really nice. I think it was more expensive than the Sézane, which I think is kind of crazy. I do think Sézane is just such good value in terms of that mid-range price point. You can't really beat it, but I really like this one. I liked that it had this kind of sounds contradictory to what I normally say, because normally I don't love bags where they have the top handles and the longer strap. But for practical reasons, for some reason, the way I use this bag, I do actually quite like that. It's also like these top handles are plenty big enough that you could really comfortably crook of the arm it, as opposed to having to like squeeze your hand in. Sometimes I find these are too short, so you're really trying to squeeze your hand in. And then this, you can just tuck in. You can take it off as well. Yeah, I haven't yet, but you can take the long strap off. So if you just wanted it as a little crook of the arm top handle bag, you can have that. Also, you have the option of the strap, so that's nice. It's got a magnetic closure, so it's a little bit more secure than the Sézane, which doesn't have any kind of closure. And it has a big pocket on the side here, which you can put your phone in. It's not the most secure of bags. Obviously, it doesn't have a lining, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't live in a big city. Well, I don't live super close to a big city, so I don't kind of worry about people pinching things from my bag, but I do think that the popper does add some security. So I really like it. I think it might be sold out. I think the Sézane one is sold out as well, but I think the natural colour, this colour of the Sézane one, is still in stock, but would really recommend if you can get your hands on it, or you can look secondhand. I think they're both really, really great raffia options. Okay, let's talk about beauty. I have so many beauty favourites. Again, I haven't done a favourites video in months and months and months, so these things have kind of been piling up and I've been thinking I need to talk about that product, but I just haven't had the chance to yet. So I've got all of my favourites in this little Medicate. I've been loving Medicate as a brand. I've been really getting into my more like scientific skincare this year. I think I'm 31 now. I want to start, you know, using products that are a little bit more scientifically backed, using less products, but just having really effective steps in my skincare routine rather than having an 8-piece skincare routine that doesn't do anything. I like to use just 2 or 3 products that are really kind of, you know, they have solid claims to them. So that's what I've been doing. So in my little bag of tricks, I have a deodorant, actually, a bit of a random one, but I discovered this brand. They're called Luna. I think they're an American brand, but they do a few different products, but particularly their deodorant I'm loving. To be honest, I do love a natural deodorant. Something at least that's aluminium free, a little bit less heavy on the kind of chemicals. Doesn't have to be completely natural, but something that just makes me feel a little bit better about using it. And this one, I've tried a few. I do love the Marlin and Goats one. And I think the price point is probably similar, but I think this probably just tops it. It's a cooling deodorant. So if you are in really hot weather, it feels lovely to apply. It's very cool and it has a lovely kind of cooling, refreshing smell. It's lily and citrus. And yeah, it's aluminium free, non-staining, all over deodorant. The packaging's really nice. It's got that kind of matte, kind of squishy feel. And yeah, it just smells really like fresh, really light, and it feels cool when you wear it, and I've been loving it, and I will definitely be repurchasing. I also find these deodorants last forever. They last so much longer. I find a more expensive deodorant is obviously more expensive, but I do find that they last a lot longer than your like typical Dove and things like that. I don't know why, but I found that. I've had that for probably about 4 or 5 months now. Carrying on with the smell theme, my perfume of choice. This is a perfume, a new brand I've discovered and I've kind of become obsessed with. This is a perfume from a brand called Dead Cool. It's called Mineral Milk. It is nectar, lavender and amber milk, and I just absolutely love it. It's been my perfume of choice for the last couple of months. I've got the travel size as well, and it's just a really nice, quite milky, quite ambery. It's kind of warm but light, so I feel like it's appropriate for summer and winter. It's delicious, would definitely recommend. I think they have a few different perfumes and I haven't tried any of the others, so I can't necessarily recommend the others. But if you were going to blind buy a perfume based on my recommendation, I think most people would really like that. I mentioned I've been loving Medicate and using less products but better products, and the 2 from Medicate I've really been enjoying. I would say my simple skincare routine is really just an SPF in the day, and then in the evening a good moisturiser and a good retinol, and honestly I feel like that's all you need, a good cleanser as well, but I feel like those are less important as long as they take your makeup off. The SPF I've been really enjoying. I have to give a shout out to Ultraviolet. Love this. I've almost finished this one. This is the one I usually repurchase and just I think it's really, really great. That's the sort of one I would take on holiday. But I've been trying the Medicate Advanced Day Ultimate Protect SPF 50+, PA++++, age-defying moisturiser. So it's like a moisturiser with SPF. This is really, really nice. Again, they don't break me out. I would say this one's a little bit thinner, this one's a little bit thicker, but they both do the job, and I think they just work really well, and I like to use the highest SPF I can find, get my hands on, especially in the summer. And then at night, as I said, instead of layering on like 50 different products that all do different things, I honestly think people should just be using a retinol. If you can use a retinol, this is actually a retinol, which I'll be honest, I don't know the difference, but they're similar, right? Slightly different. SPF in the day, a good moisturiser, and then a good retinol, and I feel like you're good to go. It's the single, I feel like it's the product that's going to make the single most difference to your skin, the SPF and the retinol. And obviously if you're using retinol, definitely be using SPF. This is my favourite one. I have tried a couple of retinols, and this has been my favourite, and this is the one I've been the most consistent with and thus have kind of seen the results of the most. It's the Medicate Crystal Retinol, and they do it in different strengths. So I think if you're a beginner, you can start out with like a lower strength. I think it goes from 1 to 6. This is the 3. This is the one I started with because I have used retinol in the past and I've almost finished that, and then I just repurchased and I got the 6, which I don't know if that's too much of a step up for me. But this is obviously stronger. I think it's the percentage. So this one is 0.03%. This is 0.06%. So twice the strength. So we'll see if my skin can handle it. If it can't, I will probably just use it less. I think at the moment I'm using the 3 every other night. That's kind of my preference for retinol. I could probably do every night, but I tend to do it every other night. And then with the 6, I'll try it every other night. If it's too strong, I might go every other night, every 2 nights, in other words. So yes, but I really like this one. And again, it's got lots of like science behind it, which reassures me, even though it is, you know, fairly expensive, that it is actually doing something. And I do notice a difference, I have to say. I think my skin I still struggle with hormonal acne at 31, and I would say when I'm consistent with my retinol is when I notice the biggest difference. I also wanted to shout out U Beauty. This is the Barrier Bioactive Mist. I don't think this is as much of an essential as SPF and retinol, but if you like skincare, I do really like a mist, and this one I've been really enjoying as well. This is a brand I've never heard of before. They did send me this just for full transparency, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it's very fresh and it's just nice to mist on your face, again, especially in summer, I find. I just have one makeup favourite. No, I have 2 makeup favourites. Where's my other one? I can't find my other makeup favourite right now, but I will insert a clip of it. It's a lip gloss I've been loving. I ran out of my usual. I tend to just wear a lip gloss until it runs out and then I'll repurchase another one. And this one I think is Too Faced. I got it on ASOS, but I think it's from Too Faced. Really lovely colour, right up my street. I'm wearing it now, but it's pretty much rubbed off. Also, like, my hair is starting to get sweaty. It's very hot today, so I'm probably going to wrap this video up soon, but really, really like the Too Faced. I just can't find it right now, so I'll show you on the cutaways. And then the other makeup favourite I've been using is actually from Rouge. I've never tried Rouge makeup before, but I wanted to give it a go. So I got this. This is the bronzer and little kabuki brush set. Really gorgeous packaging, I have to admit. I love carrying this in my bag with me because it's just so beautiful. I carry it as a mirror because it's got a mirror in it, but I really like this bronzer. Pleasantly surprised. I can find bronzers quite tricky because I'm quite pale, but I find that this is not too orange on me, but it's not too light. You see a noticeable difference, and it does really work quite nicely with the kabuki as well. So I'm pleasantly surprised by Rouge makeup and kind of want to try a few more bits. Let me know if you have any Rouge makeup favourites that you would recommend to me. Oh, and a final beauty favourite, talking of beauty, this is technically body. This is a new brand that I'm trying, and I wanted to shout it out because I'm really liking it so far. This is a hand and body water cream from a brand called, I have no idea how to pronounce this brand. It's like Lupa? Lu-P-H-A? Okay, they're from the founders of The Ordinary, Deciem. They have other brands as well, and this is a brand new brand. And this moisturiser is so nice. It's hand and body water cream. I think it's too nice to just use on your hands, so I've been using it all over. It smells of oud and amber. Again, I love amber. Even in the summer, I just love amber. So it's kind of similar to the perfume, actually. Oh, it's so, so nice. And I've just got this on my chest of drawers so I can try and use it every day, morning and night. And I've just loved it. I think I'm like here. So I've used this for a couple of months. So it lasts a long time. Really nice, that like matte packaging, similar to the deodorant. I'm just a sucker for that kind of packaging. And it's got the pump, so you can just like pump it out. Really easy to use and just smells absolutely gorgeous. And again, a new brand, so probably one you haven't heard of before. It wasn't too expensive either. I think this was about £24, which, you know, is expensive, but as I said, this is probably going to last me at least 6 months. So I feel like it's a nice treat, something if you do want to treat yourself, you want something that feels a little bit more luxurious than your typical Nivea, I would recommend this one. Okay, we're getting to the end now. I've got a couple of tech bits randomly. The first bit is my current body mask. I just wanted to shout this out quickly. I did talk about this in my last video. I think it was my last video, my house updates video. I recently got the Mark II. So this is the series 2, should I say, of the current body mask. It's got like the improved fit, so it really wraps around your face. I think it's got more LEDs on it as well as the Mark I. And I've been really, really liking it. This is the other thing I would invest in if I was starting my skincare over from scratch. Again, SPF, retinol, and this, and I feel like you're kind of good. You don't need anything else. You don't need a million serums. You don't need a million moisturizers. I don't even think you need fancy cleansers because you just wash them off your face. I would use a really bog standard cleanser and do a double cleanse and just invest a little bit more in these products. The mask in particular, I do think is one of the things that has made the biggest difference to my skin. And hopefully it's also doing kind of preventative stuff that I don't necessarily see straight away, but will reap the benefits of long term as well. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I think I've got a discount code. I think it's 10%. It goes up to 15% sometimes during like Black Friday, so maybe wait for that. Because it is, you know, is a splurge purchase, but I would repurchase this a million times over if I needed to, because I do think I'm not one for like faddy tech products, especially in the beauty world, but this is like the one exception. It's the only beauty tech product I have, and I would definitely repurchase if I needed to. The other tech product I've been loving, you may have spotted it, is I finally got myself an Aura ring. I've been wanting an Aura ring for a while, but I've been umming and ahhing, do I actually need it? I actually had an Ultra Human ring for a couple of years and then I ended up losing it. And I did like the Ultra Human ring, but I have to say, I've been trying the Aura ring for a couple of months now, no, a month. And I think I do prefer it. I think just the user interface and the tech is a little bit better. The one thing that really put me off them is that when I had the gold Ultra Human ring, I just felt it clashed with the tone of gold of my jewellery. Obviously I'm a big jewellery girl, I love wearing my jewellery, and I didn't love that the gold Ultra Human ring or Aura ring just wasn't quite the same tone of gold. It obviously wasn't solid gold, so it kind of scratched up. And so when I saw they had ceramic ones, which I just feel like don't try and compete with your jewellery, they're just something else. You know, it's not a piece of gold jewellery, it's a piece of tech. And I just actually quite like the colourful ceramic ones, so I went with the mint green one. I wanted the pink one, but it was sold out, so I went with the mint green. And these are on sale at the moment because they're the old generation. They've brought out a new one since then. But they didn't bring the new one out in the ceramic, so I went with the old one, and it wasn't too expensive because of that, and I've been really enjoying it. My camera battery is flashing at me, so I'm gonna go. I do want to just mention a book recommendation. I've been in a reading slump for about 6 months. The last time I finished a book I honestly think was in January or February, which is atrocious, but this book finally brought me out of my reading slump. Into the Blue by Emma Brodie, would highly recommend. I think you can only get the hardback because I think it's quite a new release, but I thoroughly enjoyed this, and as I said, it's the first book I've finished in 6 months, so that is really terrible, but hopefully no more. Hopefully I'll get back into reading now I've read a really, really good book. Those are all of my summer favourites. I hope you enjoyed. It's a whistle stop tour because my battery is about to die. Check out the Linjer pieces down below in the discount code, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!